Hey everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Matt, and in today's video I wanted to talk about one of perhaps the worst things going on right now for Shiba Inu. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe for more daily SHIB vids, and let's get right into it. So if you guys haven't seen what's been going on, our price has not been doing particularly hot. We're hanging at around 69, which is all fine when it really comes down to it. We are still in the realm of possibility that we could easily reach the 80s again, given a good catalyst or a good announcement. Now, the main issue is not necessarily the price, the market cap, or the volume, but this little thing here on the far right. I know a lot of people have been talking about this, and really guys, the circulating supply issue has been going on for around a week now, and this is pretty bad. Essentially what is going on is CoinMarketCap, if you guys didn't know, has not been reporting this accurately, and this still is not fixed. People have been asking for a while, and it still has had no resolution. So what has this led to? What are the effects of this inaccurate supply? Well, let's get right into it. So I did some digging through some older articles I thought you guys would find interesting, and essentially there is a mixed stance on whether or not deflationary versus inflationary crypto actually is a good thing. Now, when it comes down to it, there's a theory here that dogecoin, of course, being inflationary is okay because it makes it ideal for a currency, but really, I think with 1 quadrillion SHIB, which is the real total supply that was initially made, that is quite enough. And of course, you guys can see here over on the screen, they are talking about in this article here about CoinMarketCap here obviously having this error, but they talk about how originally when Ryoshi minted the first quadrillion SHIB at launch, the code was locked in. So there was no way to change this. So the idea that they could have added more circulating supply is not correct, because when we look at this here, you guys can see currently listing, of course, 549 quadrillion or trillion SHIB here in circulation, with the previous listing here being 394 trillion SHIB in circulation. You guys can see, of course, we have this issue here on the right, and I know so many people have been talking to me about this on my streams. You know, is this intentional? Was this on purpose? And I really can't say, but either way, this is definitely not a good thing. But you know what is a good thing? Signing up for Webull, guys. Top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do. You guys get started over there trading stocks, crypto, all that good stuff, including SHIB. And if you guys use my link, of course, you guys will get 2 free stocks, potentially valued up to $2,300. So if you guys want to get started, top link down below in the description, and it does support me as well. When it comes down to it, guys, this is not good. Again, we have a sort of possibility that yes, with an inflating supply, you know, you can still sustain itself as a currency. And again, Dogecoin is managing to still do quite all right, even though it is technically inflationary. But what it boils down to, I think, is public sentiment. I think everybody knows that more Doge is still being minted. I think everybody's aware of that, and there's more US dollar being minted every single year by an awful lot. So I don't think people are particularly frightened of the idea of something being inflationary. Of course, it's not ideal, but I don't think that particularly frightens people. It's the fact that this supply is so dramatically different than what it really should be. I mean, it's getting close to double what the supply actually should be on here, and that is just not a good consensus in terms of what the devs have been saying. Again, the devs have said from the very beginning that Shiba Inu is not inflationary, therefore it should never be, and I believe it is not. So the fact that this is not a correct supply, or at least we are led to believe this is not a correct supply, shows an inconsistency. It shows an error and kind of diminishes the credibility of both the SHIB dev team and CoinMarketCap, which is a shame because I think that both parties in this situation don't really deserve it. In the end, this is just a simple issue that it looks like CoinMarketCap could fix if proven to be true, and same thing for the SHIB team. They are very adamant that they did not add anything more to the circulating supply. So when it comes down to it, this needs to be changed, or at least resolved sometime in the near future. Again, if SHIB became inflationary tomorrow, I don't think people would care all that much. It's just the inconsistency that I think is creating a lot of FUD. Speaking of that FUD, of course, we are down a little bit again on the day. Market cap of around 38 billion, which is still great. You know, having a red day like this is not particularly wonderful, but in the end, it still is within what I predicted. The volume here is around 4.5 billion, which is a lot less over the past 24 hours, and definitely a little bit less buy volume than sell volume, of course, leading us to be slightly down here on the price. When we take a look, of course, at what is going on here, guys, you could see it is still behaving in a way that that looks acceptable. Again, I talked about this in previous videos, but our goal is to watch this line of support kind of hang from 74 up to around 68 or 69 and somehow consolidate between the two. Now, so far from what I'm looking at, it looks as if it's going to do that. And if it could just bounce around in here, that would be awesome. If it could just stay here for even a week, that would be fine. It would be totally acceptable to see the price kind of hang out here, because at least the majority of people, if it bounced just within these parameters here, would be pretty happy. Because even if you bought all the way up here, you know what? You're still doing okay. You might have lost a little bit, but you're still doing okay. And if you bought anywhere down here, I'd say you'd be pretty happy. Anywhere from here to here, I mean, I think you'd be pretty happy seeing it hanging out in the low 70s. So that possibility definitely does still exist, that it could just bounce between those 2 points. Now, of course, we do run into the issue that this is kind of hard to classify as a sort of wedge, but if you wanted to, you could say this looks like a symmetrical wedge. The only issue, again, is that we have not enough real candles to fill out this sort of graph here. Again, this really should look kind of like this, where it really fills it out more and kind of occupies the space a little bit better. So the fact that we are not seeing that does make it a little difficult. When we check the relative strength index, you guys can see we're right around the middle, a little bit below, but right around the middle. So we definitely do have some headroom to move up or down if we want to. But I'm kind of fine with where we're at, to be honest with you. This is not bothering me, because if we can sustain this, even while, it's not a particularly volatile day for any coin out there, if we are able to sustain this price here, of course, this would be great, because once Bitcoin finally does have that 100K run, that would make it a lot easier for SHIB to break out with it. Because if you guys remember, SHIB used to follow Bitcoin pretty closely. It doesn't that much anymore. But I think if Bitcoin took a 80K or 100K run, I think SHIB would definitely benefit from that to a degree. So it is definitely possible, again, that we could see those benefits happening, tangibly, if Bitcoin is able to do that. When we take a look, of course, at the Fibonacci retracement, which you guys can see over on the screen, we are going to expand this and pull it apart. It is going to track, of course, the latest run and give us its thoughts here on everything. So we have the 74 here, the high, and then of course the low here is at around 68. So this again is that range that I've been talking about here, that I predicted it would be a sort of consolidation period. And really, the Fibonacci retracement is not telling us all that much here. It really does seem that it is just kind of consolidating across all these lines. Again, it looks as if it doesn't really want to go very far below that 23.6% line here, but it does appear in the past couple of candles it has. So I would say this line as a support line is no longer. So we definitely do have the high 60s in play again, 68, 69, but the goal, of course, is just to not let it really get that far below 68 or 69 here. And again, when you create these kind of zones of consolidation here, you guys can see it looks a little nicer. It looks like it makes a little bit more sense, and it definitely does look a little bit less scary here if we were to kind of just bounce around here in this kind of area. I definitely think something like this would be fine for the near future. I don't think too many people would be overly upset with watching this. So with that being said, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids. Thank you guys so much for 31,000 subscribers. My name is Matt. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.